Have you ever wished you could use tomorrow, today? In a quiet village surrounded by dry fields and tired hopes, there lived a boy named Jide. He was not lazy, he was not foolish. But no matter how hard he worked, poverty followed him like a shadow that refused to leave. Every morning before sunrise, Jide carried heavy baskets of firewood to the market. He watched other boys his age laughing, wearing clean clothes, eating full meals. He told himself that one day his life would change. One day. But one day never seemed to come. One evening, after a long day of selling wood for almost nothing, Jide sat under an old Iroko tree outside the village. The sky was dark purple, and the air felt strange. He whispered to himself, "If only I could borrow tomorrow's luck, just for today." A soft voice answered him, "What would you give in return?" Jide froze. Standing before him was an old woman dressed in white cloth. Her eyes were calm, but they looked older than time itself. "I have nothing to give," Jide said carefully. The woman smiled. "Everyone has something to give." She stepped closer and lowered her voice. "I can lend you tomorrow, just one day from your future. You will use its blessings now. Success, favor, wealth. But when tomorrow arrives, it will no longer belong to you." Jide did not fully understand, but hunger speaks louder than caution. "What happens when I run out of tomorrows?" he asked. The woman's smile faded slightly. "No one ever asked that at the beginning." The next morning, everything changed. The firewood he struggled to sell the day before was suddenly bought at triple the price. A merchant noticed his strength and offered him a better job. Money flowed into his hands easily, like water from a fresh spring. Jide was shocked. It worked. He returned to the Iroko tree that night. The old woman was waiting. "Just one more tomorrow," he said. She nodded, and so it continued. Each time Jide borrowed a tomorrow, his life improved. He opened a small shop, then two, then five. People respected him. They called him Lucky Jide. They said the spirits favored him. But something strange began to happen. One morning, Jide looked into a bowl of water and noticed a thin line on his face, a wrinkle. He laughed nervously. It must be stress. But the lines multiplied. His back began to ache. His hair started turning gray. Yet he was only 17. His childhood friends still looked young and strong. Jide, however, felt as if years were running through him, like sand through open fingers. Still, he continued. "Just one more tomorrow," he would whisper. Each time the old woman appeared. Each time her eyes seemed sadder. Soon, Jide became the richest young man in the region. He built a large house. He wore expensive robes. But inside, fear began to grow. He stopped looking at his reflection. One night, he gathered the courage to ask, "How many tomorrows have I borrowed?" The old woman did not answer immediately. "You have borrowed all but one." Jide's heart stopped. "One?" he repeated. "Yes," she said softly. "You have one true tomorrow left. After that, there is nothing more to lend." His hands began to shake. "What does that mean?" "It means," she said gently, "that you have used almost all the days that were meant for your life. You wanted success quickly. You chose to live your future before its time." Jide felt a deep cold inside him. He rushed back home and looked into the mirror he had avoided for months. An old man stared back at him. His skin was wrinkled, his shoulders bent, his eyes tired. But inside that old body was still the frightened boy who once carried firewood at sunrise. He fell to the floor and wept. The next morning was his final true tomorrow. Word spread quickly through the village. Some said it was sickness. Others said it was a curse. No one knew the truth. Jide did not go to his shop. He did not count his money. He walked slowly through the village, touching the walls of the houses he built, listening to children laugh, feeling the warmth of the sun on his face. For the first time in years, he was not chasing anything. He sat again under the Iroko tree. The old woman appeared beside him. "I was foolish," Jide said quietly. "You were impatient," she replied. "I thought borrowing tomorrow would solve my problems." She nodded. "But tomorrow is not a tool. It is a gift." Tears filled his eyes. "Can I return the wealth and take back my days?" The old woman shook her head gently. "Time is the only thing that cannot be traded back." Jide looked at the sky as the sun began to set. For the first time, he truly watched it. The colors were brighter than he remembered. The wind felt softer. The world felt more alive. I understand now, he whispered. Tomorrow is meant to be earned, not stolen. The old woman smiled, and this time there was peace in her face. As the last light of day disappeared, Jide closed his eyes. And when the sun rose again, the richest house in the village stood silent. The people would later say that Jide was blessed and cursed at the same time. They would tell their children about the boy who rose too fast and faded too soon. But under the Iroko tree, when the evening wind blows, some say you can still hear a whisper. Be patient, your tomorrow is coming. Because the future is not something to borrow. It is something to grow into. And those who try to rush it may arrive, only to discover there is no time left to enjoy it.